Everybody, welcome to Reader's Workshop today. You know by now that this week we've been really focused on theme, otherwise known as the life lesson. Remember, this is something we can think about, especially when our characters are working through problems. And we know that a lot of problems are connected to bigger issues. These are some of the common issues that you've been talking about this week. And I bet you may have even added some more issues to this list. For example, you may have added kindness, thoughtfulness, maybe self-confidence. Maybe that's an issue for your characters. Or perhaps responsibility or honesty. These are the big issues or big ideas that we often learn life lessons about. So this brings us to our learning target, which is that we can use a big idea or an issue to create a theme statement. We can talk about issues and learn life lessons. You've also been using this chart to help you get to big universal life lessons by starting with an issue. Today we're going to do a little bit of practice together using part of the book Summer Wheels. I hope you've been enjoying this book. It's definitely one of my favorites. Let's take a look at this part of Summer Wheels. Now, if you remember, at this part of the story, Abraham Lincoln is thunk-clunking the man's bicycle down the stone steps. And I'll read a little bit of it to you. At each thunk, the crowd cheers. At each clunk, they cheer more. Both tires are flapjack flat. Abraham Lincoln has his feet on the ground for brakes. Thunk, clunk, thunk, clunk. We can definitely see there's a problem right here. This is really not how you treat something that you've borrowed from someone else. So I could add a note on the side. Abraham is mistreating the bike he borrowed. You can do the same thing with a sticky note. Place a sticky note next to a piece of text that shows a problem. Now, if we take that problem and we use our chart, we can state that Abraham is mistreating the bike he borrowed. Now, we want to think about what's an issue here? What's a big idea when a character mistreats something that he borrowed? Pause the video here, and I want you to talk about this as a class. Try to come up with a big idea or a big issue using just 1, 2, or 3 words. And then, what could be a theme statement or a life lesson that you could develop from that big idea? So try that now. Okay, you've had a chance to develop an issue and a theme statement. Remember, there is no one right answer when we're doing this kind of work. I'm sure you came up with great life lessons. Let me share what I came up with. I thought perhaps a big idea was respect. And a theme statement could be, it is important to show respect for items we borrow from other people. But remember, your ideas are just as correct as this one if you can support it. Let's try this one more time. Oh, first, notice we can add respect to the common issues. Every time you come up with a new issue, add it to your list. Take a look down here at the bottom. Thunk, clunk, thunk, clunk. He looks up and sees us. I think I was about ready to leave quietly, but once he saw us, I couldn't. What do you want? He asks. Beside me, I hear Brady whisper, uh-oh. I swallow. You've got the man's bike, I say. So? I swallow again. You have to bring it back. All that swallowing, I think Lawrence was pretty nervous, and he's got a little bit of a problem on his hands. On the side, I wrote, Lawrence is nervous about speaking up and standing up for the man. That's hard to do. So I think he faced a little bit of a problem for himself, a tough decision of whether he was going to speak up or stay and leave, or perhaps leave quietly. We can go back to our chart and add that as a problem. Lawrence is nervous about speaking up and standing up for the man. Now, stop the video here and go through the same process. What is the issue? What is the big idea here? And then develop a life lesson or a theme statement with your class. Try that work together now as a group, and then I'll share my thinking in a minute. Okay, great work. I'm sure you guys came up with wonderful issues and life lessons. In my mind, I was thinking, gosh, maybe this is about courage. Maybe the big issue for Lawrence is having enough courage to actually stand up for the man. And so a life lesson, a universal theme might be, it takes courage to stand up for someone that you care about. And remember, this life lesson has to be bigger than just this one book. It has to be a lesson that you could carry with you in lots of different situations. So let's get back to our learning target and what you're going to be working on today. You're going to be thinking about the big ideas or the issues in order to create a theme statement, a life lesson, something that could apply to lots of different situations. And you're going to take out your chart that looks just like this. And you're going to work through this chart on your own, using your own independent reading book. Make this a goal for you today. And then be ready to use this again in our check-in tomorrow.